Cheese. What is it? Nobody really knows, but what we do know is that cheese is good. And I am going to find which one is the best cheese out of the cheeses I found in my fridge and the cheeses that weren't crazy expensive. I am not a cheesemonger. That's their official title. A cheese sommelier is called a cheesemonger. I am not that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to eat cheese and I'm going to put them on a tier list. Got my tier list. Cheeses. This is my palate cleanser. It is a lime bubble water, which if you didn't know is one of the best palate cleansers. So here we go. Cheese number one. We have Happy Farms cream cheese spread. Just, cream cheese spread, you eat it on toast, you eat it on bagels, you love it. But let's see how it is on its own. Alright, well, you all know how cream cheese is. It's very smooth, it's got a very smooth texture. Goes down easy. It's got a little bit of a tangy, soury flavor. Yeah, very dairy, very tangy. Lets it complement pretty much anything. You put anything in cream cheese and it'll be good. Yeah, cream cheese is solid. We're going to put it at a solid B. Palate cleanser. People tell me they hate bubble water. They're crazy. Limoncello LaCroix, it's the best. Alright, we've got Essential Everyday Munster. The Cheese Master laughed at me when I said I was eating Essential every day. Pretty generic brand, it's a good sandwich cheese. So, full review in a second. If you think of cheese, Munster is like one of the most cheesy cheese flavors. So it's quite good. It's not sweet. It's a good savory cheese. So it's good on sandwiches, like I said. It's good on sandwiches, good on its own. It's an all-around solid cheese. Because it's good to eat on its own, I think I'm going to put that one in A tier. Just above the cream cheese. Because cream cheese, it's not really good on its own. Like, you can eat it. I'm sure some people do. But it's a lot better on stuff. So, whereas the Munster, I'd pull this out of the fridge and snack on it. So, Munster is going in A tier. Palate cleanser. Cleansed. Alright. Then we've got, this is the first fancy cheese I'm excited about. This is La Fromagière Brie. So, when I went to the Cheese Master, they said, this Brie, this is the best Brie I've ever had. So I'm excited. I'm a big Brie guy. I like Brie a lot. So yeah, this is the first Brie we've got. We've got a couple more, but this is the first one. Probably the best one. It's a very creamy cheese. It's got a rind that you gotta bite through. So I like that different textures. So it's like you bite through the rind and it's the juicy goodness on the inside. It's a very savory thing. Like I said, it's a lot of cream. So it's a lot of, savory. A lot of, you can taste the cream in there. Very robust cheese. It's a very rich cheese though. So with some cheeses, I'll just eat them on their own. This I would not because it's really rich. And I feel like eating it on its own a lot would just make me feel sick. It is really good though. Like crackers, delicious. It would be good on anything. So I think I'm going to put this in A with Munster because even though it's like the cream cheese and I wouldn't eat it on its own very much, it's not weird on its own. Like cream cheese, it's kind of weird on its own. It's got weird texture. It's got, I don't know, it's not a very good flavor on its own. It's just, you need to eat it with stuff. Yeah, I'm going to put the Fromagière Brie solidly, like upper A tier. It's very good. I like it a lot. Palate cleanser. Alright, on to cheese 4. We've got Brie. Another one. This is a more generic Brie. This is the Emporium Selection Brie. This stuff I really like. I will pull this out of the fridge and eat it on its own. Alright. That's interesting. This is the Brie that I eat all the time. That Fromagière stuff, that's fancy, and I haven't had that before. Now that I've had that stuff, I don't know how I feel about this Brie. It's definitely really good. Like, it's good. It's cheese. It's going to be good. It's got a bitterness to it. The Fromagière was, very smooth, very creamy. This one's got a lot less of the cream. It's got more of the tangy cheese flavors. Yeah, I think this is a better snack on its own because it's a lot less heavy than the Fromagière. So, it's not going to make you feel sick as much. It does have, I think, a much lower flavor. So I think we're going to put that in B next to cream cheese. Palate cleanser. Cheese 5. So this is Belgioso fresh mozzarella cheese. I got these little ones. They're little cheese balls. I figured because it would just be easier to eat. And these are really good in pasta salad. Here we go. It's mozzarella, so it's good. I don't think it's really good on its own. It's got a much springier texture than any of the other cheeses that I've had so far. So that makes it feel like a lot more in your mouth. It feels very full. The texture, not a big fan of. The flavor, it's like right on the edge of tangy and bitter. It's almost there. It's almost bitter. But yeah, now that it's gone, like the aftertaste, very good aftertaste. I think that's probably why it's good in pasta salad, because it like leaves the flavor in your mouth, and then you get the mozzarella flavor with, all the other flavors you're getting. On its own, just like that, I'm gonna put it in C tier, because it's okay. It's not great though. Palate cleanser. Alright. Next cheese. This is a classic cheese. This is like a childhood favorite cheese. We've got Cheeseheads light string cheese. Now, a lot of us grew up on this. It's good cheese. It's a good snack. It's just good, but let's see. It's string cheese, so, this is the only way you can eat string cheese. At first, it feels like mozzarella, or it tastes like mozzarella. But then it gets more bitter than the other mozzarella at the end. Almost spoiled milk. It tastes like cottage cheese, like the liquidy part of cottage cheese. Which isn't bad, I really like cottage cheese. As a kid, this one wasn't really my favorite because of that tanginess and almost bitterness, but I like it now. Yeah, it's a little springy like the mozzarella. It's just a fun snack, you peel it apart and you eat it. It's great. So I think I'm gonna give it like A. Low A. A minus B plus. Right in that range. Palate cleanser. Time for the next round of cheese. Be back in a second. Alright, now we're moving up in the world. We're getting some fancier cheeses in this section, and we're kind of moving out. There's still some sandwich cheeses in here, but we're getting to other kinds of cheeses. Like the brie, that was like a spreading cheese. We got some of those in here. We've got some seasoning cheeses that you put on other stuff. And we do have some sandwich cheeses. But first off, we've got this cheese, which I've never had before. This is dill Havarti. So this is like a Havarti cheese with dill in it. I really like dill. I like cheese. I've never had a Havarti, I don't think. I'm excited for this. So, here we go. So that cheese, I wasn't expecting that. It's got peppers in it. Like hot pepper. I'm not a big hot peppers guy, so I can't tell you exactly what pepper, but it's definitely hot peppers. The dill is a little minor, which I'm upset about. I like dill a lot. Dilly pickles, those are so good, like extra dill. But this cheese, it's good. This would be good on any sandwich with mustard. I feel like mustard would go really well with this cheese. Overall, no complaints. It was pretty good. The spice was nice. That is a solid cheese that I'll probably be getting again. So we're gonna put that in A. I hope we get some bad cheese. Palate cleanser. You know it. You love it. It's pepper jack. Good sandwich cheese. Good snack cheese. It's just a good ass cheese. So. That's the first cheese so far that has a strong flavor. These other ones have been more subtle. This one is you are eating pepper jack. It's very strong. I like it. I like a cheese that can stand up for itself. Good on sandwiches. I eat it as a snack occasionally. It's very savory. Definitely the most savory cheese I've had tonight. I'm not the hugest fan. It is good, but I know a lot of people love it. For me, I'm going to put it in B. I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this tier list. It's going to be bad. But, you got to do what you got to do when you're a cheese reviewer. Palate cleanser. Alright. Then we've got another sandwich cheese. Classic cheese. I love this cheese on sandwiches. We'll see how it stacks up to the others on this list. It is Picante Provolone. It's been a while since I've had some provolone. It's a very bitter cheese. Texture, nothing to write home about. It's cheese. It is very bitter though, which I think is why it's really good on sandwiches, ham sandwiches, ham and provolone, match made in heaven. Because it's like the savory of the ham, and then the bitter of the provolone. It's delicious. On its own, because of the bitterness, I'd rather eat a nicer cheese that isn't like mean. There's a mean cheese. But when you match it up right, it's delicious. On its own, it's pretty mean. So, because it's not like a very snackable cheese, it's really good in sandwiches, but you're probably not going to pull it out of the fridge and just eat it on its own. So I'm going to put it in C. Palate cleanser. Another classic sandwich cheese. I don't know anyone who doesn't like this cheese, except people who don't like cheese. Weirdos. It's Colby Jack. It's good. Cheers. Surprisingly similar to the provolone. It's bitter, not nearly as bitter. Or, not as bitter. It's got a lot of savory in it, too. So it starts off nice and savory, and it turns more bitter, and then it leaves like a bitter aftertaste in your mouth. These bitter cheeses are really good sandwich cheeses. Like this, classic sandwich cheese. Provolone, it's a sandwich cheese. Yeah, I've got no complaints. I'd eat this on its own, as opposed to the provolone, because it's like savory and bitter, so it's a nice mix. On its own, it doesn't need a meat to complement it. I think that's a solid B right there. Palate cleanser. Next cheese, we've got Crystal Farms Colby. So this is just like a brick. This is like a brick cheese. It's huge. You can build a house out of these. I don't know a whole lot about Colby. I'm always having Colby Jack. I don't know if I've ever had Colby just on its own. But because Colby Jack is a mix, I'm assuming one of them is bitter and the other one is savory. So we'll find out if this is bitter or savory, and then we'll know. Okay, that one was interesting. It's very creamy cheese. Crystal Farms is like a pretty generic, low-quality cheese. It's very creamy cheese, so it feels like it coated the whole inside of my mouth. I think that's the savory part of Colby Jack, because it had a little bitterness in it, because almost all cheeses are a little bitter, but it was mostly savory, and a lot of the cream flavor. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm not the biggest fan, because of the creaminess, I think. Yeah, I don't really like that exceedingly creamy cheeses, and this one doesn't have nearly as good a flavor as the Formaggio Brie. So I think this one's going to sit at a low C. I can see it being good on some stuff, and I'm sure some people are diehard Colby fans. It's not for me. I don't really like it. Maybe there's better brands, like I said, Crystal Farms. I think that's going to go in D. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. Palate cleanser. Alright. Now, this next cheese. It's Greek cheese. I'm not the biggest fan of Greek cheeses. I don't really like goat milk or goat cheeses. But this one's really good in, gyros and stuff. Or, salads and things. It is feta cheese. This is also Everyday Essential, crumbled feta. So this one is designed to be put in stuff. Like gyros or a salad, you sprinkle it on top of stuff. I don't think it's meant to be eaten on its own. To give everything a fair chance, I'm not eating them with anything. Cheers. Very, very bitter. And leaves me with a sour milk taste in my mouth. This is kind of how goat milk is. Goat milk is a lot more sour than cow's milk, and that really comes through in the cheese. Because, cheese makes it a little more sour, and then it's sour on top of the goat milk sour, so this is a pretty sour cheese. Which, like I said, is good in things. Like gyros, you got a lot of savory stuff in gyros, and this helps balance it out. It's a good compliment. On its own, I would never go in the fridge and eat feta on its own. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of goat milk. I don't really like Greek cheeses. But it's good in some stuff. I think this is going to go in E for me. I don't really like feta. Alright. Now this next one. I don't know how I feel about this one. It is Pillion Roquefort. I don't know if you can see that. It's very blue cheese. It looks very blue cheese. I don't really like blue cheese, and I'm pretty sure this is not how you're supposed to eat this cheese. It's supposed to go on things. It's a very soft cheese. It's supposed to be spread, and it smells very animal-y. Imagine you're at a petting farm, but there's one animal, and it's on the other side. That's what it smells like. It's animal, a lot more animal than the rest of these cheeses, but it's not very strong like a petting zoo. So I feel like I'm either going to really like this cheese or really not like it. Like I said, it's a very soft cheese, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of sticky as well, so... Oh, wait, hold on. Palate cleanser. Can't forget, we gotta get that bitter cheddar out of my mouth. did I even say? I meant bitter feta. I think I said bitter cheddar. Anyway. Animal smell. Oh. Okay. I really do not like that. It almost tastes like vomit. I'm sure with all these cheeses, they're diehard Roquefort fans. I am not one of them. It tastes like vomit, and it tastes like animals, and it's just in my mouth forever now. Not a fan. Roquefort, nuh-uh. Get out of here. That one, it's going in Z tier. We're going all the way down to Z with that one. Skipping F and going down to Z. No, I do not like that one. That was one of the cheeses that was recommended to me, and this person, either they really like it, or they recommended it to me because they hate me. And either it's equally likely, but it's probably because they hate me. Palate cleanser, get this out of my mouth. Palate cleanser round 2. It's still there. This next cheese, I'm a big fan of this cheese. I've never had it in, like, this nice of the cheese. I usually get it sliced every day, so I don't put on sandwiches. This is a fancy one. This is Prima Donna Gouda. It's a very crumbly cheese, which I like. I like crumbly cheeses, not feta, though. But this kind of cheese I really like. The Roquefort is still in my mouth. I'm not gonna let this ruin this Gouda for me. Because I was really excited for this Gouda when I picked it out. It's ruining everything for me. You know who you are, and I'm gonna tell your mom. I'm gonna tell your mom, I'm gonna tell your dad, I'm gonna tell your grandma. And they'll be on my side, because they love me. Anyway, Gouda. Gouda is a very, very bitter cheese. It's like a sharp bitter. So, not very good on its own. But like I said, with bitter cheeses, they're really good with meat. You pair it with, like, I said ham already, but ham. Ham is like, ham and cheese go together so well. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. 2 main sandwich types. Peanut butter and jelly and ham and cheese. So, ham and Gouda is really good. It's just so bitter on its own. It's really good and stuff. So it's either really good or bad. So because of that, I'm going to put it right in the middle at C. Because it's got the highest highs and the lowest lows. And that was it for section 2. And for that, I'm going to refill my palate cleanser, and I'll be right back. Palate cleanser. I forgot about these 2 cheeses. These are going to be interesting, because I've never had either of these cheeses. One of them I think is going to be really bitter, and the other one I have no clue. Claussen Festival White Stilton with mango and ginger. I like mangoes. I like ginger. I really hope the ginger is minor, because I like ginger, but not very strong. I like mild ginger. I like ginger ale. Looking at the cheese, I mean, it's very clearly a white cheese with stuff in it. It's also kind of sticky, which is giving me flashbacks to the Roquefort, which is still a little in my mouth, so I might be ruining everything. You know who you are. Feel bad. Don't feel bad. But feel bad a little bit. But not a whole lot. But a little, you know. You know. So yeah, here we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys could tell. I didn't like that cheese very much. After a while, after I got used to it, it wasn't good. It was bad. It was bad all the way through. There were mangoes, and I got a little bit of mangoes. That's the only good thing about the cheese. I'd rather eat anything else. It's got a very strong smell. Yeah. Is it as bad as the Roquefort, though? I didn't even describe its flavor. It's super bitter. It's vomit like the Roquefort. It doesn't taste like ginger. I don't know what it is. It's bad. I think it's going down with the Roquefort in Z. That was another really strong one, so it's going to be in my mouth for a while. I did just refill my palate cleanser, so it's all carbonated right now. So maybe that'll make things better. Gosh, I hope so. That was a nasty cheese. I feel sick. That and Roquefort. You know, I thought I was pretty open-minded about cheeses. Like, I have my favorite cheeses, and I was like, yeah, cheeses can't be that bad. It's cheese. My entire outlook on cheese has changed. Roquefort, whatever that last one was, I've already forgotten. I wiped it from my mind. It was terrible. Roquefort's gonna live forever in my brain, though. The White Stilton, bad. And now I'm kind of scared for the rest of the cheeses. I know there's some coming up that I'm really gonna like, and then there's some more weird ones. This is another cheese that I've never had before, and I'm kinda scared. It's Kerrygold Dubliner. It's a very crumbly cheese, so I think it's gonna be very bitter, which isn't bad. Bitter cheeses, like I said, very good with other things. On their own, not great. I think this is gonna be in a low tier. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be really good. Maybe it'll be my new favorite cheese. I like Kerrygold, the brand. I like Dublin, so Kerrygold Dubliner. Okay, I was right. It was bitter. It wasn't that bitter. It was strange. It was almost powdery. I bit it, and it was crumbling, but then it felt like it was super crumbling, and it felt like it kind of turned into a powder in my mouth. It was also very dry. It was super dry. I wasn't a big fan, though. I think I'm going to put it in E. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. Palate cleanser. Now it's time for my favorite section of cheeses. You know, I thought this was going to be a lot more fun. I was like, yeah, I get to try all these new cheeses. I think we're out of the bad stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. Which I'm probably not. I'm kind of stupid. It just passed 2 in the morning. It's regular dumb, and then it's already 2 in the morning. So you don't care about that. You just want to hear about the cheeses. So I'll be right back. Alright. We are now entering what I call the cheddar zone. Okay, I love cheddar. Cheddar's one of my favorite cheeses. So yeah, we got a wide spread of cheddars over here. Got six different cheddars. Starting out with some Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery cheddar curds. White cheddar curds. These are supposed to be like a snack. So I'm hoping that this is good, because I need something good in my life after the Roquefort and the mango ginger stuff. So that was good. That was good. Clearly designed to be a snack. It was bitter and savory, like right in the middle, like that other cheese, but it wasn't nearly as strong, which makes it a much better snack. This isn't anything you would put on anything else. It's designed to be eaten on its own. That's pretty good. I like cheeses that you can just eat on your own. I'm really lazy, so I just eat stuff. Duh. I eat stuff on its own. So this is something I would grab out of the fridge and eat. So I think that's going to go in B. No, A. I really enjoyed that one. Palate cleanser. Next cheese. It's another white cheddar. We're still in the cheddar zone. So like I said, 6 cheddars. Cheddar number 2. This is Tillamook medium white cheddar. It's very crumbly. Like I folded it in half and it broke. I'm not supposed to be eating it. I'm supposed to be saying stuff first. I like cheddar. I like white cheddar. I think this is supposed to be like a sandwich cheddar. So I'm expecting it to be a little more bitter, which is good for sandwiches, less good for snacking. I was correct. It is a lot more bitter than the curds, because, like I said, those are made to be eaten, so they're a lot less bitter. These are made to be in a sandwich. I feel like this would be a really good burger cheese. Like melted into the burger, cheeseburger, delicious. Ketchup, because the sweetness will really bow out the bitter. It is very bitter. It's also, so it's like a bitter, it's acidic, like the Roquefort, but not disgusting. But because that's not something you were to eat on your own, or on its own, I think I'm going to put it in a C. Like a low C. Palate cleanser. On to what I'm predicting to be my least favorite cheddar. It's Essential Everyday Mild Cheddar. I prefer sharp cheddars, and Essential Everyday has proven to not be that great. This is also designed to be a sandwich cheese, so I think it's going to be a little bitter, or a little more bitter than normal. But yeah. I was wrong, and honestly, pretty disappointed. It almost tastes like nothing. Like, there's a little bit of cheddar, and like the aftertaste, you can kind of taste the cheddar, the like cheddar bitterness, the like bitter savoriness of cheddar. It almost tastes like nothing. I don't like that. Well, I mean, as a cheddar, I like it because it's a cheddar, and you can taste the cheddar, which is good, and I like it. As far as cheddars go, I'm pretty disappointed. The Cheese Master was right for laughing at you. Yeah, not a fan. It's going in D. You can do so much better. I know you can. Palate cleanser. We've got another Tillamook cheddar. This one, it is medium regular cheddar. So the other one was white cheddar. This one is medium. So that white cheddar was very bitter. I think white cheddar is just more bitter than normal cheddar. I think this is still going to be bitter because it's supposed to be on a sandwich. I'm sure it's going to be way better than the Essential Everyday stuff. Like I said, no flavor. It was not very good. Cheers. That is good. It's not bitter. It's very good. It's like what I was expecting the Essential Everyday to be. It's cheddar. It's not super bitter, which is good. So it means you can eat it on its own. It's bitter. It's savory. It's got the perfect mix. It's not very sharp, which is alright. I think a lot of people don't really like sharp cheeses. I'm a big sharp cheese guy, but I think that was a good mix. Like, I think it'd be good on a sandwich. It'd be good on its own. I think this is an all-around solid cheese. So this is going to be going in a palate cleanser. This is our first, like, fancy cheddar. The Tillamook was alright. It was still came, like, pre-packaged, and it's a sandwich cheese. This is Boar's Head cheddar. Just came off a big old block. At the deli, sliced off a piece of this block. I've got really high hopes for this. I mean, I think it's just going to be delicious. Not too bitter, not too savory. I think it's going to be really good. That was good. That's some good cheese. It was very sharp, which I like. Love sharp cheeses. It was bitter because it was sharp. Not too bitter. It didn't really taste like vomit, like Rockford. Fucking, I hate that. I hated that. That was so bad. The cheddar. It was really good. It was sharp, which is nice. Like I said, big sharp guy. Bitter because it was sharp, but it was like nice bitter and savory. So like your quintessential cheddar, that was really good. I think that's like an A+, bordering on S. It's like right in the middle. It's very good. This one is probably my favorite so far. Palate cleanser. This next cheese. This is probably the cheese I'm most excited for. This is Widmer's Cheese Cellars 12-year-old aged cheddar. It was like $13 for a tiny little block. This better be so good. I'm hoping it's really sharp. Like I said, sharp cheddar. I like sharp cheddar. And I'm just really excited for this cheese. I really hope it's not like super good. I mean, I do. But I kind of hope it's not, because then every time I eat any other cheddar, I'm going to be like, well, this sucks. Here we go. Alright, a little disappointed, but also that's good, because I don't really want to spend a bunch of money buying this cheddar. It was sharp, which was good, but it was super bitter. So that means it's not a good snacking cheese. And I think, like all the other bitter cheeses, it would be super good on a sandwich, but it's not great on its own. So that's going to be B, I think, because I think it'll be amazing in a sandwich. Just like this, plain on its own, it's okay. Palate cleanser. Alright, sadly, we're out of the cheddar zone. That was it. That's all the cheddars I got. I think we're in the home stretch, looking over at the rest of the cheeses I've got. This might be the last group of cheeses. I was correct. This is the home stretch. We've got 5 more cheeses. Fresh palate cleanser. Gonna try and get the last of that 12-year-old cheddar out of me. Alright. This is, thank God, our second to last essential everyday cheese. We've got essential everyday Swiss. So, Swiss, bitter cheese, good sandwich cheese. Swiss is like right on that line, but not right on that line like cheddar is, because it doesn't have the sharpness of cheddar. It's bitter and not super savory. Yeah, it doesn't have the nice sharpness of cheddar. So, I'm seeing a trend with these essential everyday cheeses. They're kind of bland. They're pretty bland. I was wrong. I was misremembering. Swiss, it's not bitter. It's a savory sour. That's probably why I like the cheddar a lot more. This is a good sandwich cheese. You put it on a sandwich, like a burger. This is a really good cheeseburger cheese. You let it melt into the burger. It complements the meat really well. You know, you put some ketchup on it. There's some of the sweet to go with the sour. On its own, I'm not a big fan, especially because it's essential every day, and it's just kind of bland. I think we're going to put that in D. Palate cleanser. Next, we've got another Swiss. But this one, I think this is a much higher quality Swiss. Another thing that came from the deli, you slice the thing off, it was great. So I think this one is going to be really good. It's still Swiss, so I don't think I'm going to like it a whole lot. I think I'm going to say it's going to be really good on burgers, it's going to be good on sandwiches. It's going to have that savory sour of Swiss. I think this is going to be a good cheese. I don't think it's going to be a good on its own cheese. I'm pleasantly surprised. Who knew that higher quality cheeses are better? This one isn't nearly as bitter as the Essential Everyday. It's got a lot more savory. It's still got the Swiss bitter. Because it's not as strong, it's a lot more palatable. I still think it would be really good on sandwiches, but because it's not as sour as the Essential Everyday Swiss, you can eat it on your own. Like, this is a thing I would grab out of the fridge and eat. Where do we put this? Where do we put this? So it's not up with the A's, you know, I'm not loving it. It is good. If this was the only cheese we had, I would eat it. But I wouldn't choose it over cheddar. So we're going to put that in B tier, like B+. Palate cleanser. This is another cheese that I've never had before. Heard it's good. I was struggling so much to pronounce it at the deli, it was really embarrassing. But it is Gruyere. It's a holy cheese, like Swiss. It's got a little hole in it. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a hole in it. Like Swiss. You know, Swiss is famous for its holes. It's got kind of the same texture as Swiss. So I'm going to guess it's going to have a similar flavor. The bitter sour of Swiss. And I think it's going to be closer to the baby Swiss than the Essential Everyday Swiss, because it's just a nicer cheese. So, I was pretty dead on. That is pretty good. It is like the Swiss. It's a lot more savory and less bitter, and it's got a more, I guess it's got a more milky taste. I like that. I think it's on the fridge, or it's in the fridge. I've got this Gruyere, and I've got the baby Swiss. I think I'm going to eat the baby Swiss, just like on its own. On a sandwich, I think this one will be better. It's got like a richer flavor almost. So yeah, what we're learning here is that if it's good on its own, it's probably not going to be very good on a sandwich. And if it's not good on its own, it's probably going to be good on a sandwich. Except for Roquefort and whatever that Stilton cheese was. Those were just nasty. And I wouldn't like them on a sandwich. I don't like them on their own. They're just bad. Anyway, I'm hating on the Roquefort. Not enough hating on the Roquefort. I fucking hate that cheese. Anyway, Gruyere. I'm gonna put it in B. Like a B minus, somewhere around there. Just hit 230. Palate cleanser. This is it, guys. This is the last Essential Everyday cheese. I'm just so excited to be done with it. I probably won't be eating a lot of Essential Everyday cheese after this, which is unfortunate because that's the cheese we always get. I'm never gonna be able to eat it the same because I know it's not as good as anything else, except for Roquefort. Roquefort sucks. We've got Essential Everyday Shaved Parmesan. This is another seasoning cheese like the feta cheese. We'll see if it's had a similar flavor. I like Parmesan. I put it on, you put it on spaghetti, you put it on pizza. It's just a good cheese. I don't know if I've ever really had it on its own. We'll find out. Well, it's good on things, like a lot of other cheeses, but, say it with me, it's not good on its own. It's like the bitter acidity, which kind of makes it taste like vomit a little bit. And it's giving me more flashbacks to the Roquefort, because that also had a vomity taste. This one isn't nearly as bad. Like, I'd eat this. Probably not on its own very much. I put this on everything. This is good. But because it's never good on its own, I'm going to have to put it in C. Solidly in C. Palate cleanser. This cheese is very controversial. The cheese master was talking about it. They either can't be friends with someone who doesn't like Asiago, which is this cheese, or they can't be friends with someone who doesn't like Asiago, and I cannot remember which one it is. I'm going to try it, and then whichever one I agree with, I'm going to say we're friends. So, this is the Asiago. It kind of feels like the Swiss and the Gruyere. It's a lot softer, though, so I bet it's going to be like the Swiss and Gruyere. Cheers. It's like the Swiss and Gruyere. I think it's closer to Swiss than Gruyere, though. But it's sharper than Swiss. It's kind of like sharp Swiss. It's got the bitter sour of Swiss, but it's much richer. I have not tasted enough cheeses to know the vocab of how to explain it. This has a deeper flavor, though. And yeah, so this is good on its own. I think it would be better on a sandwich, though. A lot of these cheeses are just better on a sandwich, and I think this is one of them. I think this one is good, though, so I'm going to put the Asiago in B. And I'm going to say that the cheese master said that they can't be friends with anyone who doesn't like Asiago. So, and I hope I'm never corrected. Alright, guys. So, we've got one more cheese. And this is a cheese I've been dreading. I was taking recommendations, right? My buddy Nolan. Alright, if you know Nolan, this isn't going to surprise you at all. But he said, can cheese. And I asked him to explain. And he said, and he didn't. He was just like, can cheese. I went and I found cheese in a can. I later found out he meant easy cheese, but it was too late then. So I have can cheese. I think it's going to be not very good. Here is the can cheese. It is nacho cheese sauce. I think this is not going to be very good on its own. I like nacho cheese. This is not how it's intended to be eaten. It's not intended to be eaten cold or out of the can. Here we go, canned cheese. This is for you, Nolan. Okay, I mean, it looks like nacho cheese. We've got my nacho cheese fork. Everyone knows this is how you're supposed to eat nacho cheese. First, our last palate cleanser. Cheers. Oh, it's jiggly. I don't like that. I don't know. Can you see that? It's super viscous and jiggly, and I don't really like it. It smells like nacho cheese, and it smells like I'm not going to enjoy this very much. I don't like the texture. I'm a big stickler about texture. I mean, it tastes fine. It's nacho cheese. You know, it's not great. It'd be better on chips. Of course, that's what it's made for. I'm gonna put it in D. That was all the cheeses I've got for tonight. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the highs and the lows, the highs of the cheddars and the bries, and the lows, the low lows of the Roquefort and the mango ginger Stilton. I prefer cheddar. Cheddar, then brie. I'm gonna have the tier list, like, maybe it's there, maybe it's there. Maybe I didn't get it to work and I look stupid. Special thank you to my cheese supplier, Kat, who works where I bought the cheese and gave me a discount on the cheese, which is very nice. And they helped me pick out good cheeses and donated some cheeses. And I would like to thank the cheese master, Kaylee. She works with all the cheeses at the deli. She gave us some great tips for the cheeses. It was just super helpful. Gave us a discount on the cheeses too. Don't tell anyone though. And I would like to thank Kenny, the cheese dealer. He had to slice a bunch of the cheeses in this video, and it was a big pain in the butt for him. So thank you so much to all three of you for making this happen. I don't think I introduced myself. Frank, signing out.